From the Grow Louisiana Coalition, I'm Jennifer Crockett, and this is Making Energy, a podcast where we discuss the most important issues facing Louisiana's economic engine and working coast. 2023 marks a new stage of the oil and natural gas industry fueled by unprecedented American investments offshore and on land. It's an energy evolution.
$70+ billion that we know of so far look to be coming to Louisiana, investing in carbon capture and other alternative fuels.
The promise? American-made, reliable, clean, and affordable energy built on a mix of existing and emerging technologies. Louisiana is the key.
Because we've done that so well, we're going to be rock stars at supporting what comes next.
Now on Making Energy, uniting the vote behind Louisiana energy. On this episode, we welcome Tommy Faucheux, president of Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association, or LaMoGA. Founded a century ago in 1923, LaMoGA is a trade association exclusively representing all sectors of the oil and gas industry operating in Louisiana and the Gulf of Mexico. Tommy is a Loyola graduate with extensive experience in managing state government affairs, spurring economic development, and advocating for the energy industry. He was recently named one of the top 20 rising talents in the petrochemical industry in Louisiana by the Baton Rouge Business Report. Tommy, welcome to Making Energy.
Happy to be here.
The federal government is investing billions of dollars in new infrastructure funding to develop Louisiana's emerging alternate energy sources and also low-carbon solutions. So what makes our state uniquely poised to capitalize on this energy evolution?
We have seen the industry evolve and grow in Louisiana, everywhere from refineries up and down the Mississippi River to being the first to jump out into the Gulf of Mexico and produce offshore energy. Louisiana has just been an exciting place where people have come to invest and innovate for 100 years, and that's not slowing down at all. There is no doubt a demand around the world for lower carbon energy alternatives. Some people want to see fossil fuels go away. That's not going to happen. It's impossible. However, there are endless opportunities, I think, for us to start producing some of those alternative forms of energy, like offshore wind. There is a great opportunity for us to reduce the carbon footprint of producing current energy. Some of the lowest carbon energy in the world is produced in the Gulf of Mexico. It also gives us a great opportunity to invest in carbon capture. We have missed so many economic opportunities over the years because we don't want to step out. We don't want to necessarily lead. We are often comfortable just kind of merging into traffic. Louisiana's opportunity is that we have advantages that gives us that one big chance to lead. Because I think if you're not leading in this space, then you're missing out on the lion's share of the investment. You have to be at the forefront. This is not one of those times where you want to just merge into traffic. You want to be the car at the front of the pack. I'm a NASCAR guy. You want to be the car that's deciding how fast we go and blocking the other people from trying to pass you up. $70+ billion that we know of so far look to be coming to Louisiana, investing in carbon capture and other alternative fuels.
$70 billion. Why is Louisiana receiving so much investment in alternative fuels when oil and natural gas is one of the state's largest industries?
So you would have a lot of people who would tell you that the only way you get to lower carbon fuels, alternative forms of energy, would be to stop fossil fuel production, to all the oil and gas companies to go home, and then move on to what comes next. There's a lot of talk about an energy transition, not just in America, but around the world. It's more of an energy evolution. Because a transition implies that you're leaving one thing to go to what comes next. I'm here to tell you that those companies that are traditional energy companies, they are going to be the experts that are going to allow us to move to alternative forms of energy. We don't want them to go away. If anything, we want them to double down on their efforts. And I think that is where Louisiana is really in a unique place. There will be no offshore windmills in the Gulf of Mexico without a lot of the companies who have perfected the ability to go offshore by being lifelong supporters of the oil and gas industry.
And we're already seeing that with Shell partnering with some of the new wind sources that are coming here to do it now, here.
Shell, ExxonMobil, Chevron, BP, and those are just some of the names that everyone knows. There are hundreds of companies that a lot of people may not know as well or recognize as easily that are partnering with these large companies and going out on their own to say, look, we see Louisiana as a place of opportunity. And it's important for us as an industry, as political leaders, to make sure that we provide the right fundamentals. You have to have the right support system. And because we have naturally supported oil and gas production for so many years and gotten really good at it, because we've done that so well, we're going to be rock stars at supporting what comes next. We do have an advantage on other states, in many cases on other countries, because we've done it so well for so many years. We don't want that to go away. We just want to add to what we're doing.
Let's talk energy independence now. We've seen war, supply chain collapse, and pandemic-related shutdowns have significant impacts on the global energy supply in recent years. Energy shortages have strained households, crippled businesses, and even put our nation's security at risk. What can state, local, and even national leaders do to encourage energy production to make it both more affordable and also to protect America's national security and ensure our energy independence?
I think politics has gotten in the way of America being energy independent. We know we have the capacity. We know we have the ability. What we need is policymakers and politicians to get out of the way and stop trying to slow us down. And so energy independence is going to come when it is more of a business conversation and less of a political conversation.
Louisiana's oil and natural gas industry invests more in coastal protection and restoration than any other private investor in our state. Tommy, can you tell us about the types of projects and organizations the industry supports along Louisiana's working coast?
I think what we also see through new technologies is the ability to operate cleaner and safer. And now we're going to do it while also producing energy that is cleaner and more environmentally friendly. And so I think that's going to be something that we're going to focus on, because we owe that to our local communities where we operate, and I think we owe it to the world. Think about a coastal Louisiana employee. If all those people who live along the coast that support our industry, that are employed by our industry, can no longer physically live there, or if they can't afford to live there, how would our energy industry survive in Louisiana? We don't want people driving 2 and 3 hours down to the coast to go to work. We want those communities to stay there. We want them to thrive. They need to be able to have affordable insurance. They need to be able to have educational opportunities that allow their families to grow there. But they have to be in communities where all that can be protected. And that means we need a stronger coast. We need to continue to build land. We need to continue to provide hurricane protection. Billions of dollars in deep water investments have been made in the Gulf of Mexico. We want Louisiana to be at the forefront of servicing the offshore oil and gas industry and the coastal industry. And so that all happens. It is good business for the employees of the industry to live close to where they work.
The National Ocean Industries Association released a study just in May showing global greenhouse gas emissions could be cut in half if the crude came from the Gulf of Mexico instead of places like Russia, China, the Middle East, or Africa. I'll link to that study in the episode description on our webpage for our listeners, but I want to get your reaction to that study and also tell us how it ties into the push for American energy independence.
We can do it all here, right here at home. I think that's extremely important. Offshore oil and gas in the Gulf of Mexico is some of the cleanest, lowest carbon energy produced anywhere else in the world. So again, we can do that here. We don't have to rely on other countries, other governments, the stability of the world for us to be able to take advantage of that American energy.
Statewide and municipal elections are right around the corner. Energy independence, affordability, and alternatives are all big campaign issues. What do you want voters to know about the importance of this upcoming election and all the positions that are on the ballot?
Louisiana's energy industry is responsible for nearly a quarter of the state's economy. So when we elect statewide leaders, we need them to understand the value that the oil and gas producers, the energy producers of Louisiana bring to the state economy. Look, the governor's race, yeah, it's important. An attorney general's race, absolutely important. But you know that local council race, that local parish president or police jury race, those may be the most critical because they are the people that are going to decide at the ground level whether or not our industry succeeds. If they choose to create an environment in any one parish across this state that says, we don't really want industry here, we're going to sue them because we don't like the way they do business, or we're going to sue them because we don't want them to exist. They're not just stopping a company. They're stopping the company and all of its employees. And guess what? In any parish across this state, voters are also employees of the industry. Doesn't matter which company they work for, which logo is on their badge. More than 300,000 people are impacted by the energy industry of Louisiana. 300,000 people, if they choose to vote together, can have a tremendous impact in this state. It is not uncommon, particularly in South Louisiana, to go into a neighborhood where 3/4 of the people who live on any given street in the subdivision work in the oil and gas or petrochemical industry. If they all live on the same street, that means their kids go to the same schools. That means they're dependent on those same local services. And so it is extremely important to realize on the collective power of, I had a legislator tell me earlier this year that, well, companies don't vote. Well, companies employ tens of thousands of people who do. And I don't know about everyone else, but some of the most significant parts of my life are my family, and then the career I have that allows me to support that family. And so what we want energy employees across the state to know is when you talk to that local representative who may tell you, well, companies don't vote, say, no, but we do. And our needs, our careers, our communities are dependent upon you supporting Louisiana energy.
Tommy Faucheux with Limoga, thank you for being our guest on Making Energy.
Thanks for having me.
You have been listening to Making Energy. To hear all episodes in this 7-part series, visit makingenergy.com.